From talking ducks and turtles to the amazing Spider-Man, here are 20 comic book characters inspired by animals. Welcome to Weird Wonders Wednesday. Hey, Rogelio Mondragon, thank you for those kind comments. Here's your shout out, and we always like hearing that our subscribers are enjoying the content, so we hope you like this installment as well. By the way, if you're not a subscriber, all you have to do is click on the red button and you're in the club. Thanks again for all the support, and cheers. Number 20. The Penguin. Oswald Cobblepot's physical appearance, consisting of a short stature, elongated nose, and tuxedo attire, led to his nickname. Despite all that, he still managed to become one of Gotham City's most powerful crime lords, and is a constant challenge for the Batman. And that awkward-looking waddle aside, penguins turn out to be pretty smart themselves, capable of using tools and forming complex societal hierarchies. Black Widow. Like a namesake, this Avenger has a sting of her own called a widow's bite, and it's a couple of bracelets that discharge electrostatic bolts of some 30,000 volts, among other functions. The real-life arachnids have their own bite, of course. The females can inject a venom that causes muscle pain, cramps, and spasms. Squirrel Girl. In addition to enhanced strength, speed, and reflexes, Doreen Gray shares an empathic bond with squirrels, and not unlike the rodents, she even has pouches that contain macadamia nuts, which give her an energy boost. FYI, those pouches are actually on a belt. Squirrels can be some right clever critters, though, and some species have a specialized membrane that allows them to glide through the air. Dr. Octopus. This character is fairly self-explanatory and, of course, is one of Spider-Man's most famous foes. Dr. Otto Octavius was a nuclear physicist who was using a mechanical apparatus with 6 tentacles when he was caught in a radioactive explosion. As a result, the tentacles were fused to his body and obeyed his telepathic commands. Doc Ock was a highly intelligent bad guy, and octopuses are often considered the most intelligent of invertebrates. And by the by, what are the odds of a guy named Otto Octavius actually becoming Dr. Octopus? Howard the Duck. While he still cannot quite live down the 1986 movie bearing his name, his career seems to be on the upswing these days. Howard usually wears suits, smokes a cigar, and indulges in some foul talk. He's also known to be quite irascible at times, a quality he shares with some of his real-life counterparts. Now, while Howard doesn't necessarily quack, per se, he does practice a form of martial arts called quack fu. Robin, possibly the most famous sidekick of all. Several characters have assumed this identity, starting with Dick Grayson. In addition to being quick and nimble, Robin's animal namesake exhibits a lot of bravery. They have very little fear of approaching humans or large, wild animals like boars when searching for food. One big difference, though, the character Robin has been going strong since 1940, but the birds normally have a lifespan of just over a year. The Scorpion. This character is a natural enemy for Spider-Man, since he's based on a fellow arachnid. Mac Gargan had superhuman strength and speed, and a mechanical venomous tail. His powerful grip was similar to that of the animal's pincers. Now, this guy Gargan later went on to host the Venom symbiote, but that is a whole different animal. Ant-Man. This character has the ability to shrink down to the size of an ant and communicate with them, but he still retains his normal human strength. Ants, of course, are well known for their strength, capable of lifting up to 50 times their body weight. That would be kind of like a normal-sized man lifting close to a ton or 2,000 pounds. And if humans could move as fast as these insects, we could run more than 50 miles per hour. Sabretooth. With razor-sharp claws and fangs, this supervillain shares a number of attributes with the prehistoric saber-toothed cat, the best known of which, Smilodon, had canines that reached 11 inches long. The comic book character weighs about 380 pounds with his adamantium skeleton, and that is not too far off from Smilodon, which went around 440 pounds. That would have been without an adamantium skeleton, of course. Black Panther. Because T'Challa hails from the fictional African nation of Wakanda, he might more accurately be called the Black Leopard, since those big cats are found on that continent. Now, Black Panthers, of course, are really leopards or jaguars with a case of melanism. That's an overabundance of melanin, the dark pigmentation. He shares many abilities with his animal namesakes, including enhanced senses along with speed, agility, and stamina. Catwoman. Selina Kyle can often be as clever, cunning, and crafty as a feline namesake. Cats are well known for their secretive nature and possess a number of natural abilities. In addition to possessing tremendous balance and athletic capabilities, they can move quickly and silently, see in the dark, and have highly acute senses of smell and hearing. Unlike Miss Kyle, though, cats have not necessarily shown much affinity for bats. Spider-Man, by the way, had a relationship with a similar character called the Black Cat. Rocket Raccoon. This anthropomorphic animal from Guardians of the Galaxy was named after the Beatles song Rocky Raccoon. He's a master tactician and marksman, and while his intelligence is due to some genetic manipulation, real-life raccoons are known for being clever critters that can adapt to a variety of habitats, and they have the ability to identify objects before touching them. Killer Croc. A rare genetic condition gave this character the appearance of a crocodile, and like that reptile, he has an armored type of skin and exceptional strength and speed. Pretty impressive, but at 7.5 feet tall and weighing around 700 pounds, he just would not measure up to the saltwater crocodile. That's the world's largest living reptile, measuring some 23 feet and weighing more than 2,500 pounds. Gorilla Grodd. This arch-nemesis of the Flash possesses tremendous intelligence and the powers of telepathy and telekinesis, among other attributes. The fact that gorillas are intelligent is well known. The great apes are capable of learning sign language and have been observed using tools in the wild. And while Grodd ruled over the fictional gorilla city, the real-life apes do exhibit a specialized social structure. The Lizard. This was one of Spider-Man's villains. Dr. Curtis Connors was a scientist who lost an arm, and as he researched the regenerative abilities of lizards, he formulated a serum to regrow that limb. But the cure also mutated him into a huge hybrid of human and lizard. Of course, some reptiles are known to have such regenerative abilities, but lizards themselves actually do not regrow lost limbs. But don't tell that to Dr. Connors. Man-Bat. In kind of a play on words, the Man-Bat is actually more of a Batman than Bruce Wayne. Kirk Langstrom developed a serum that transformed him into a terrifying human-bat hybrid. As such, he shares many of the flying mammal's abilities, including a natural echolocation. Man-Bat stands more than 7 feet tall and weighs around 300 pounds, and while the megabat golden crown flying fox doesn't get that big, it does have a wingspan of more than 5.5 feet. Pretty impressive nonetheless. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The 4 anthropomorphized teenage reptiles were named after Renaissance artists and trained in martial arts by a rat sensei named Splinter. Since their first comics appearance in 1984, the Turtles have battled criminals ranging from mutated animals to alien invaders. And through it all, they've created a multimedia empire that includes movies, video games, toys, and all manner of general merchandise. The longevity is not unlike that of the animal namesake. Some turtles can live for up to 80 years, and the giant tortoise can live for at least a century. Batman. The Dark Knight is one of the best-known comic book characters ever. So, why did billionaire Bruce Wayne choose the Bat as his animal alter ego? The flying mammals have a long history of being associated with fear in Western culture, and the Batman serves to strike fear in the hearts of criminals. In some variations of the legend, Bruce Wayne himself has a fear of these critters due to a childhood encounter with them. Such a condition does exist, and it's called chiroptophobia. Wolverine. Also known as Logan, this character definitely displays the ferocity of his namesake animal. Wolverines are renowned for the highly aggressive nature and strength disproportionate to the size. They've been known to take on black bears. While Wolverines don't have a mutant healing factor, they can be tough to kill thanks to their thick hide, powerful jaws, and sharp claws, which, by the way, are not encased in adamantium. And before heading to our number one comic book character, we'll have an honorable mention section. This time, though, it'll have to be some dishonorable mentions since it's comprised of villains. The Rhino is a character that wears armor modeled after the pachyderm. He's tough and powerful like those animals, but at around 700 pounds, he's a bit of a lightweight. A male white rhino can weigh around 5,000 pounds. The Vulture is a scientist who created a specialized harness that gave him enhanced strength and allowed him to fly up to 95 miles per hour. The real-life birds have been documented flying faster than 60 miles per hour and covering 100 miles in a day. And the porcupine was originally a foe of Ant-Man. He wears an armored battlesuit that is covered in sharp quills and contains miniature weapons, and the quills can be shot out like missiles. Did you know at one time the animals were thought to be capable of doing this, but that was later disproven. Spider-Man. Whether it's Peter Parker or some other incarnation, Spidey really can do whatever a spider can, including spinning webs, sticking to walls, and jumping great distances. Did you know jumping spiders can leap some 50 times the body length? That's kind of like a human jumping some 300 feet. And highly sensitive hairs on the bodies serve as a type of spider sense, warning them of danger. But these critters do all of this without radioactive blood.